Hi, Fred. Welcome back. So today's don't, we're talking about do not be persistent. Tell me more.
Yeah, I know, because it probably, as with many of the other don'ts, sounds a bit weird. Don't be persistent. Isn't that exactly one of the qualities that we look for in a salesperson? We want them to be like a dog with a bone. They've got to be really resilient. They've got to keep going at things. Now, I would say that people do think that's a good idea, and it's not, because quite often sales has been sold to people as a numbers game. Yeah, or pipeline management, put lots of stuff in, ultimately you'll get enough out the bottom. So just keep going on doing all the hard yards, putting lots and lots of things in, and ultimately you'll be successful. It also has got elements of this hard work pays off element, which in some ways I wouldn't argue with, but I just think pure hard work doesn't make as much sense as smart work, so work smarter, not harder. And I think also what can happen with this kind of persistency thing is that you can just piss customers off. The time might not be right. And so by keeping pushing, keeping on at them, actually you can burn a bridge that ultimately might be one that you would have crossed. But by using that kind of really pushy type mentality, you've ruined the opportunity for yourself when it would eventually have come along. So that's the kind of
Okay.
my main bits of thinking around why people sort of probably think that being persistent is a good idea.
Okay.
Um,
So,
but
so
yeah,
basically, a lot of people think it's a numbers game. I've been told it's. I was brought up on the numbers game philosophy as well. Whatever, 100 calls in a day, 80 calls in a day, 20, 25 possible people you'll talk to, and then I don't know, 1 in 25 of those you might actually get something out of, or 1% of mailers and stuff like that. So you're saying a numbers game and hard work is a bit flawed thinking.
it's just not very clever. I think we can be smarter with it. That's what I'm going to come to.
Okay,
So,
cool.
the flaw in it is that it does waste a lot of time and energy. I mean, if you're literally, and it sounds a stupid example, but if you're literally just going to call all the numbers in the phone book, starting at A,
Right, yeah.
well, you're going to start with taxis, aren't you? And they probably don't really need what you're selling unless it's, I don't know, petrol or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, a stupid example, but
Yeah.
you're going to do a lot of stuff and a lot of emotional energy, because if you're just going, look, it's numbers, I'm going to get some pushback and that's fine and I expect it, and 10 no's will ultimately give me a yes.
Yeah.
It's hard, it's hard on the individual, I think,
Yeah.
and and demotivating to a degree. I mean, I can't imagine who would want to really sort of get up every morning and think, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get loads and loads of refusals, but I'm a persistent so and so, so life's going to be all right.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure is that
Yeah, it's
is
interesting.
that
I
good?
think my early years of selling, I did do some teleselling, and it was quite interesting. It was literally, as you say, going through a Yellow Pages book, and I remember one day I think I rang a pig farmer who had no computers, funnily enough, and I thought that was bizarre.
That was an
and,
opportunity
and,
then.
um, and actually, fact, the database that we had bought was allegedly just of X, Y, Z, whatever we were looking at the time. But a pig farmer popped up. So in actual fact, a lot of databases are wrong anyway. And they say just be persistent. And it's, as you say, it's a lot of wasted time and energy. So what are you suggesting people be instead of persistent then?
I mean, I've alluded to it already. It's work smarter, not harder. And
Yeah.
so what does that actually look like? And for me, this is all about qualification. Yeah,
Yeah.
so doing the research and understanding, what is this potential customer all about? What are they likely to need? Does it match up with what I could potentially do? So that, yes, it's not a pig farmer who isn't going to be wanting a full IT system integration. Um, and that if that's the case, this is probably what's going to be interesting to them. So even starting to fine tune what the message is, because they're an ideal customer, and they're ideal because I know we can do a really good job with them. I know we've done stuff like this before, and so already what I'm going to be saying is going to be of interest. That's where I think that the work smarter, not
Interesting.
harder
Yeah.
thing is. It's just
Yeah.
take a step back. Don't just try and smash the call, smash the call, smash the call. It's almost like, take your time, have a look. Does it even make sense to call them? No, it doesn't. Move on. Go to one that does. Refine exactly what I'm going to say, what I'm going to send, how I'm going to approach them, because that's probably a different. Well, it is a different don't actually, but just think about it from that point of view. Be a bit clever, really.
Okay, so the smarter bit really is a lot about qualification in this case. The persistency is don't be persistent without any qualification. People will say, of course I qualify, but qualify much better. And I love your comments there, was basically you're saying, which is I think is a theme for both of us in many of our things that we talk about, which is basically research and make it relevant to the customer.
Yeah.
So yeah, do much more. So much more time up front, and then you can basically get that prospecting or qualifying much better. And then the working hard is yeah, you can work hard, but actually work smarter is so much better than harder.
I was not saying don't work hard. I mean, work
Yeah,
hard and smart at the same time.
Yeah, fair enough.
and now you're going to be in a far
Yeah.
better position. And I used a word there I really like, which is prospecting. Prospecting, looking for the little nuggets of gold. That's what we're doing, rather than I am getting up trying to get lots of no's, which is sometimes how persistence seems to be sold. Oh, you're going to have to get lots of no's. Oh, I've been really successful. I got a load of no's. You've got no gold nugget as well. Well, you forgot to tell me I was supposed to be looking for gold nuggets. If you said that, I'd have done it differently. I'd gone to the river where the gold is. So it's doing that. And again, we know that salespeople find it difficult to qualify out. It's to go, look, I'm not even going to pick the phone up. I'm not even going to get in contact. They're just not the right kind of customer. And even as the opportunity or whatever it is starts to develop, and when I say whatever it is, because it might not really be an opportunity. And so what I need to go is go, you know what, I found out as I've actually gone a bit further down this, it's not right for us. Let's cut ties and let's do that early, rather than being persistent, pushing it through because I've got some contacts, because I'm talking to somebody, because there's a relationship there. But ultimately, we're not going to be able to do anything with it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of be tough, if you like, and qualify out. It's just that's where persistence would have you, persevering, pushing onwards, when actually it might be better just go, you know what, no, it's smarter to step away.
That's interesting. So you're basically linking to the idea of persistence with, and rightly so, that if someone's persistent, they tend to do the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, instead of being persistent, be clever. And also, rather than being persistent, check what you're doing is actually right, qualifying, prospecting, whatever it is. Always check against it, as opposed to just being persistent for the sake of being persistent.
Yeah. So don't lose your resilience. Don't lose that kind of that mindset and that sort of that hard-working attitude, but just be a bit smarter with it and don't rely only on that as the attribute. I'd say.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I like that one. Thank you very much, Fred. That's great. Look forward to the next one. I'm off for coffee.
All right. Cheers.